What's up, my video watchers?
That's a good question. Give me the first line again. Indigo Life is the story of.
We're at Island Metro Park. We got the drone and the cameras. Woo.
Indigo Life is the story of. I was gonna say creatives creating, but that's so lame.
Indigo Life is a community I created for creativity. I created for creativity.
Indigo Life is. Damn, that's a tough one.
Am I the first one to answer this question? That's actually like the hardest question you've asked.
Cam pointed this out. Look at this. There is a smudge on that camera.
On this camera, there's a smudge?
Yeah.
On this one?
Yeah.
You know, it's behind the scenes. I'm making it real. I kept rolling.
Oh, that's real. So welcome back.
Indigo Life is the story of, I'm kind of leaning more towards no words that describes it because they are so many different things.
Yo, what up? It's MC Craze 1. MC Craze 1.
Andrew's story and the support that he had from his mom is one that actually I think eventually he'll either write a book about or really do something like meaningful. So you have this kid who is just full of energy and all over the place and into different things and disruptive in all the best ways.
Sophomore year in high school.
Oh, yeah.
I was OG.
Please, like, if my posture looks shitty, just be like, hey.
I will.
Jump your posture up. My beginning point really was not fitting in.
At the age of 12, I got sent to military school.
I always had a camera in my hand. I was always creative. I wanted to explore different paths than just the general go to school, go to college, get a job, do that. A lot of parents that I see don't really allow their children to take on something and say, go get it. Where my mother was the opposite and said, you know what? School's not for you. I get that. What do you want to do?
Maybe it was just that she knew she was never going to contain or control it, but she said, go and pursue your music, pursue your dance career, and all of the things that come with that.
I dropped out of high school, for one, to further a career as a DJ and producer from 17 till about 25.
Owner, founder of 1BIG Records, 3 years, gone platinum. Yo, I'm a lyrical prodigy. I cut vacancies open to study my biology. It's not an everyday thing. You see someone like me, hear about me. I'm your MP3, I'm your next white cat on BET. It ain't an essence, y'all.
Sometimes I still find out stuff about him that I'm like, what?
Andrew used to be a clown, and his name was Scooter.
He loved to like bring people together and put on a show. I mean, he was doing talent shows and charging the neighborhood when he was 10 years old.
I meet Andrew and we're driving around listening to music, and I'm like, who is this guy? This guy's exciting. And he's talking about wanting to be this. He's talking about wanting to do this. I don't hear people talk like that much. And it was just incredible and inspiring to be around someone like that. Like, you can have those kind of dreams, but he has the will. He was born with the will.
Working in nightclubs, working in radio, or whatever it may be, I had paychecks coming in. The music industry was great, it's fun, but I could only party for a living for so long.
You know, I'm sipping on some motherfucking lemonade. I'm on my 6th, 7th beer, I don't know.
I was getting bored. It was the same thing over and over again.
Get that around my face. Right here.
And then I think he had maybe a little awakening, like, okay, I'm not going to be in a boy band and my dance career isn't necessarily kind of taking off.
I grew up in real estate with my mother, so I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll get my real estate license, but it wasn't fulfilling me. So I thought to myself, what's the first thing that I love outside of music?
Traveling the world and performing in venues of all sorts, I noticed one thing that was missing, and that was a video camera.
So I grabbed a camera again, started making real estate videos.
What's up, video world? It's your man Andrew White with Exit Realty Partners.
Next thing I know, a spark was ignited. There was something inside of me that I'm like, I really am enjoying this. And so I had an opportunity to film a real estate reality show called The REO Life.
You know you're an REO agent when you got signs with bullet holes in them. It's heritage, baby. Dude, it's all about the dream.
Got seen by many eyes, got an opportunity to possibly get picked up, and went through some pitches.
It's frickin' snowing, and I can still smell that house from out here. Oh. Smell that? Oh, dude. Give me one of them, man. You gonna need one. I'm gonna need one of these in here. Oh. Holy oh, shit.
Didn't make anything in the pitch. What it did show me was the possibility of putting things on YouTube. And that moment is when everything just took off for me.
Thank God something like YouTube came along, because he always made it seem like he had a massive audience. Even if it was just an audience of one, he didn't care. He was gonna put on a show.
I was just making the craziest videos and putting them on YouTube.
What's up, my video watchers? It's your man Andrew White here. Today's Monday, June 21st. You know what that means, right? That means we just had an amazing weekend.
It was starting to get my name out, and everyone just thought it was nuts. They're like, why? Do you feel like you're embarrassing yourself? And I said, it's just who I am. I grew up as a clown. The first few years, 2006, 2007, a lot of that was just me getting a camera back in my hand.
The Pit Stop, your local complete auto repair shop, located at 28 West Main Street, downtown Fairborn, open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m.
National Processing Solutions was established in Dayton, Ohio in 2003. We are a local, woman-owned business with clients all over the country. We're not satisfied until you are.
Right when I got started with my business, he was starting to ramp up. So I had reached out to him, letting him know that I'm starting this little shop in Dayton. He mentioned, hey, I could come out and check out the store. We could film a little video of it.
In the first 5-6 years was giving my time, my talent, my energy to help friends of mine who are starting businesses to get off the ground.
Work with me, Indigo Live Media.
Work it.
Working with me.
I didn't know what the price point was gonna be. And when he brought out the big camera, I'm like, oh gosh, can I afford this? He was like, hey, this one's on me. And something like that in the beginning days is massive. You need people like that in your corner. Andrew brought over his friends, and a handful of them bought, starter kits. And then those 5 people, helped spark word of mouth for 5 more, and then 10 more. He has gone out to the motocross track to do a promo. He has done a live shot in front of the store on a random Tuesday. People started rolling in, and it just grew and grew from there. And within a couple years, we had 3 locations, and it was just wild. Now we wholesale across the country.
It was all pro bono. I didn't charge a lot of money because I needed to have a portfolio. So we did work with like American Red Cross, and we were then acknowledged by the state. Never charged them $1 because I believed in their mission. And it's just me at this time. And I had to think, how can I scale this? How can I start bringing on a team? Because I can only do so much.
He has a special type of white boy swagger that I find really, really charming. Dayton, Ohio, always my hometown, always my first love, and a lot of great memories there. My mom purchased the first computer at our house when we moved in, and I discovered Windows Movie Maker and never looked back. I got to film school at Wright State University. I really started to like learn the process and the true art of like making films and making videos. And fast forward through 6 years of tough college, I met Andrew around 2012.
We're getting ready to do some team building exercises. Oh, there's Cameron, the man right there. Hey!
I had lost my job and I was unemployed for like a couple of months, and I thought, well, let me just reach out to him. I've got nothing to lose. I got no money. So let me do something. And it must have just been divine timing because he happened to have something kind of like lined up as like a test.
Cameron is, I call him my golden Buddha.
Because when there's smoke, there's fire.
It was him and I. We were the tag team people just doing it.
All right, setting up for the Vapor House Lock and Harbor shoot. Action.
Indigo Life really had this niche at an early time that was entertainment marketing rather than your typical video production.
We actually got quite a variety of different clients in the early days, ranging from not only like CrossFit and athletic content. We also worked on commercials, music videos, and corporate videos, 2 Men in a Truck, nonprofits, local businesses in the area.
What he brought is, it makes me emotional, but he brought something that was past me. And so we then began that symbiotic relationship where I was like, I'm gonna go get the clients, you're gonna shoot it. And he was like, game on.
Cam the man and I are here. Hanging out down the street. Milk?
Got milk?
Got milk? No, I'm good. You just show with a box of milk.
And at this time, I'm living off of sticky notes. I don't know how to run a business. I'm kind of hustling still.
We're a skeleton video production team, but Lauren brought the meat. And she brought the meat, the bones, the blood, all that.
That's a naughty tripod too. That tripod head is like.
Let's go to Lauren for our weather. Today is going to be very cold with a high of -200 degrees Celsius.
Wow, who would have ever thought? Now let's get back to why hip fades are so amazing. Are you sick of waking up to those unwanted zits living on your face? Peel. Sick, heal, ah.
She was shooting those commercials for, her school. I wish if she would have written a love letter to her future self, I don't know that it would have included owning a media company.
I never really saw myself being out on my own or in an entrepreneurial role. And I think that was what was wild about meeting Andrew. I worked at an ad agency. I worked at a college doing alumni relations and fundraising and event planning. I was pretty happy with where I was. I think I just had this insatiable desire to do more.
Lauren and I met because we were a part of an organization called the Good Deeds Project. Nonprofits would reach out to us, we would help fundraise for them and just do things in the community. The next thing I know is we're hanging out, just her and I. And I was like, we gotta do this.
I've never seen him play the piano ever.
Oh, first for everything.
Do you have words? First time. Your lips hypnotize me.
It was like a perfect storm all at once. So when you're like, oh, okay, we're gonna like start dating and doing a business all at the same time, like, whoo.
This is where we first met. Yeah?
Wow. Wow.
and start a nonprofit co-working space all at the same time.
All right, we're moving into the nucleus. And as we move in, day one, what's happening on day one, ladies?
What's day one?
Day one, we're freezing.
Oh, the heat went out. Is this a light meter?
Holy cow. I mean, when I look back at it, I'm like, holy cow. But in the moment, like, nobody could have convinced me otherwise. Jumping off a cliff and saying, like, yeah, I only need $600 a month to survive. We'll figure out the rest. Like, my dad thought I was crazy.
I would say in those years that Lauren was working the 9 to 5, she was like a caged bird, right? But until her and Andrew really decided that she was going to be a business partner in Indigo, and she let all of that go, it was like the door of the birdcage opened.
And so when Lauren came in her first year, she put together systems. She got me off my sticky notes.
Andrew better be grateful, because I just walked in this blistering cold to the adult store to get some batteries for a light for this shoot. Now that's some problem-solving thinking skills, if you ask me.
It was clear what we were missing when Lauren joined. Like, it was very clear. Like, the communication, the structure, the just the formatting of it all, the finances of it all, the business of it all.
It was all of us coming together to say, we're gonna do this together as a team, because before there was only Cameron and I. We were a part of everything together. Everything we were doing with Indigo, it was Cameron and I, always.
But then when I met my partner, who's also a filmmaker and a very talented writer, director, I think it just became the writing on the wall at that point.
When the day came that he had an opportunity to move to Brooklyn and be with his partner who got a full ride to NYU, I got scared.
Knowing that Cameron was gonna like go to the big city and the Big Apple was actually super exciting, because in some ways I was vicariously living through him. Like, yes, like, do it. Like, this is gonna be great.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared shitless when he was ready to leave, because we had just built this bond, and it worked. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's leaving. Now it's up to me.
It was very heavy, even for me, just leaving like my home, my friends, my foundation, the streets I knew. When I moved here, it was rough. I wrecked my car and I didn't have a home for about 2 months. We were practically homeless for about 2 months, but I had my computer, which made it in the move. Thankfully didn't get damaged. And I set up shop, and I barely had internet. I had to go to a Starbucks to upload videos.
But we held it together. We understood that he could still edit, he could still support us in so many ways. He just wouldn't be able to shoot anymore. And thank God he taught me how to work a camera properly, because now I had this confidence that I could be the shooter. He's able to do what he loves in New York, make films, and also still support Indigo.
It's not an easy road, but I had faith, and I knew I trusted the individuals that I worked with. And I always like to say that I work with Andrew and Lauren too, and that's the interesting thing. I don't ever like to really call them like my bosses. It's interesting that Andrew gets a lot of credit, but really the person that I think has outshined him is his wife.
She understood that I wasn't putting the value that I deserved. So my average contract was like $500. And she was like, I get that you want to help people, but how are you going to do good in the world if you're not making money?
You have to move from doing that pro bono work to drawing the line of like, hey, I love you, buddy. You know, I know we've been doing stuff before and this is the way it was, but like, I still got to pay rent at the end of the month, you know? I have been working with Indigo as a location sound mixer and whatever the hell else I need to do. I don't care. It's fun and I love those guys and I'll do anything. And, you know, post-production, pre-production, you name it, I'm there. When I got done with school, I focused mainly on doing like post-production and music. That was like my dream, you know, posters of like Hans Zimmer's movies like in my room. And I was like, this is gonna be me. Long story short, it's really hard to do that. I struggled for several years, like trying to make it work, and I couldn't understand why nobody was giving me a chance. I felt like it was the death of a dream in many ways. So eventually, when I got connected to Andrew and Lauren, it was like this wake-up call for me. I had no idea there are people out here like this locally that are just amazing and cool and talented and nice. They are embracing me and they're taking me in. They met doing volunteer work. So at the basis of who they are as human beings, like they're just generous people and they seek that out. It's gonna take a while to like build your foundation, build your clientele.
It was after a Goldman Sachs program that I had to really sit with the reality that we were giving away like 6 figures of work. We had nothing like really left to give, and we didn't have anything left to give each other. And so to pull away and start to say no or do less of that was a hard but necessary process. And it's like, well, this is who we are, but how do you dial it down?
I went back to another new client and I said, hey, this package is gonna be $1,200, X, Y, Z. And they said, all right. I didn't know what to think. And I went back to Lauren, I was like, hey, we got the deal. And she goes, see, you need to value yourself. So in the first year, Lauren tripled Indigo Life. I knew I needed to take my hands off of everything and trust her. This is her lane, and I just let go. And since then, we are full speed ahead.
We had the work ethic and we had the professionalism. We would fully deliver. One of the really cool things is just that very rarely do companies take on long form content, short form content, and knock it out of the park on both.
It's fun doing these things because we have just some weird sort of energy with each other and our ideas just kind of spin off each other. We were doing, just different things, odd things, generous things.
Yeah, we're in Dayton, Ohio. We came out here because everybody knows Dayton, Ohio, overdose capital of the country.
Nothing quite beats the social impact of Voices Project. Back during the headlines of Dayton being at the epicenter of the opioid crisis and doing all those stories of recovery.
Ultimately, what came out of this was this beautiful video series that has millions of views, made all the way up to, I think, Forbes and Huffington Post, and generated local buzz.
For me, that was rewarding to see the impact of that on a social level.
They've always kept like the community at heart and the humanity at heart and the people at heart.
That's a big part of the types of projects that we do. And with I Am, it was very much about building this idea and reshaping people's lives that actually had some substance to it.
My nickname is One Take Lugo, but back then it wasn't One Take Lugo. It was like retakes after retakes. At the time, this was 12 or 13 years ago, so Instagram wasn't a thing yet. I was one of the first fitness influencers ever to be on the platforms. And I got the eye of Women's Health magazine. And I've never had experience with photo shoots or videography. And Women's Health said to me, okay, if you want this, we need you to find a videographer to film this content. Everyone said Andrew White. I walk into his office and the first thing he says to me, I like this vibe, the whole Latin fitness girl thing.
I remember looking at her and I said, you need your own show and I would love to produce it one day. We did it.
And I said, hell yeah, like I'm on board with this. Like if we got to, sacrifice like a lot of time and energy and haul a bunch of gear through the woods while we do like zip lining and obstacle courses. Like we did some crazy shit.
I designed the entire show by like writing out the episodes and like what the experiences were gonna be. It was me, Andrew, and Ben. 3 people shooting this reality show. The 3 of us are just figuring this thing out.
First glance, you look at it, you're like, oh, what is this, like a Weight Watchers thing? It wasn't just like an entertainment thing, but it was like a way to improve people's lives. And at the same time, making a TV show about it.
Getting that experience with Andrew and Lauren has made me just really tough as nails in front of a camera.
And then fast forward years later, Erica gets picked up for The Biggest Loser on USA Network.
The Biggest Loser even said, we watched that I Am documentary and we said, that's our girl. I don't think people really understand the gravity of what Andrew, Lauren, and Ben did when we filmed I Am, because I compare it to Biggest Loser, where there was hundreds of people on campus, 24 hours around the clock. I mean, they're editing, they're cutting, they're splicing, they're filming B-roll, and then seeing what Andrew and Lauren and Ben did in 2 months, the impact was still the same. So when you really look at what Andrew and Lauren do with just them compared to what this multi-billion-dollar corporation could do, it's absolutely wild.
2022, which would have been around year 8 for me of the business, it really started to become clear that the role that I was operating in was no longer working. It was becoming too much for just me to handle. There was a lot of demands and growth and stretching, and it was such a painful growth period that I really questioned if I had what it took to continue. All of me wanted to cave and quit. Flew out to New York and hired a business coach. I started going to the University of Dayton Center for Leadership. I need to find the confidence to handle this growth. And in that process, all at that same time, a client of ours had made a proposal of potentially acquiring us.
That was a crazy thing, because never in a million years did I think something I would start and then now have with my wife be something that somebody else would want or see value in.
It was a time when they were, grinding. There was a lot of traveling happening. Andrew's on the road, having these great experiences, calling home, and Lauren's home by herself, answering the phone about this great experience he's having, and she's surrounded in spreadsheets. So there were decisions that were being made that were going to help that purchase, but it was just tearing the two of them apart.
Success doesn't come without certain things that get sacrificed. How do you then start dedicating some effort and attention to the other areas of your life?
Lauren and I became so hyper-focused on building this business that we forgot about building our marriage.
You don't really see it while it's happening because you're both so committed to this thing that you're taking care of and in charge of and responsible for.
And a mentor of mine said to me, hey, you're really focused over here. You need to focus over here so you don't lose this. And that was my marriage. And he was right, because it wasn't long after that we were so focused on all these elements that I got an email from my wife.
There's a lot of pressure, a lot of growth, not a lot of bandwidth to be your best version of yourself. Andrew and I were on set. I saw a shot that I wanted him to capture. He got a little snippy with me. And I was like, that is not how I will tolerate being talked to. And so I march off and I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna argue. I'm not even gonna waste my breath right now. I'm gonna sit in this car while he gets these shots and I'm gonna fire off an email. This current arrangement is not working for me. This is your notice that I'm figuring out what I need to do. I don't know what that is.
Still makes my butthole pucker.
You could have fooled me because he just acted so calm.
I had to. I was really calm on the outside, but inside I was freaking out because I can't run this ship without her. And it put things into perspective for me. If I don't have this healthy marriage, if I don't have a partner that I can really support, listen to, allow them to breathe their creativity into this work, or not even just the work, into our lives, I'm doomed.
It's almost like we both had to go to corners to figure out our individual problems.
Right. Working a marriage and a business together, I mean, it's a balancing act. Thank God that I was a clown and I know how to juggle, because that came into play.
And once we figured ourselves out individually, it kind of naturally just started to be okay.
We have built teams and we are empowering leadership and people to take on roles that we can now be more present in our marriage. That's going in the dock. Yeah. Put that down for some scratch audio. But we do still have that acquisition offer. Then it really came down to two things that we were asked when we asked a friend of ours, and he said, do you want freedom or do you want money? And we both looked at each other and said, we want freedom. So the acquisition, we denied it. It was some of the hardest times, though, that I personally have ever gone through. But me, Lauren, and our growing team kept working and creating.
I have so much gratitude for how our team stepped up to keep us moving forward.
I Am was really our first big reality show that launched us into creating more entertainment-driven content.
Okay, so obviously there's a theme here. Andrew is the man behind all of these like ideas of shows. When he like has these wild hairs, I kind of just like try to get out of his way, and I'm like, okay, let the man work. And then I'm behind the scenes like, how's this all gonna work?
I still get goosebumps to this day when I drive into the city and I see this landscape and this city just lit up. There's so much history here, and I'm a history nerd, and I wanted to really start telling the stories of Dayton. And so I developed Decoding Dayton because of that. And this was kind of my love letters to the city.
These are sites people don't see every day.
We all came together with a retired city planner, John Gower, and a buddy of mine, Jason. And I said, John, you got access to all these abandoned buildings, etc. Let's go.
When you get to tell stories in a community, the ability to further connect people around the place that we all live and that we're neighbors with each other, that part of it is really rewarding.
We literally crawled through every nook and cranny in the city and every rooftop, and it was amazing. I had such a blast doing it.
We produced 36 episodes of this show.
Things have happened over the years. We've grown and grown. We're one of the few African-American owned radio stations in this country.
I love the old records and with the old school cassettes.
It has just opened up doors for us to showcase what we do.
As we were doing Decoding Dayton, Andrew and I were always like, this place is probably haunted, right? And he's like, dude, I've always wanted to like just turn this into like a ghost show. And on some level, I think that just stuck with him. And he ended up putting together, the concept of Other Side.
We all get these weird ideas. And for years, I wanted to produce a paranormal show, but I didn't want to create just a typical paranormal show.
Okay, what happens with I put a comedian and a ghost show together? And he's like, I'm gonna find out. So he does it. And I'm like, all right, babe, like, just be sure you sage yourself when you get home from filming, please. Like, don't bring anything home.
Culturally, black folks don't even play with ghosts. Like, the only ghost black folks probably play with is the holy one, Comedy was always in my household. Growing up, black or whatever you want to call it, man, I think the first performance on stage is the living room. Once I figured out I can get out of whippings if I can make my mom laugh hard enough, like, I think that was probably the cheat code right then. I grew up watching, Def Comedy Jam, Coming to the Stage, Comic View, anything Comedy Central. I was that kid watching stuff I shouldn't be watching. I was like, dude, I'm gonna go try that. I don't know why or like where it came from, but I was like, I wanna try that.
Once I met Deontay, I was like, this is my guy. I think we could do something with this show now.
My experience filming The Other Side was very eye-opening. It was exciting. This is different. I've never done something like this before. But Andrew and Lauren have the ability to perceive and say, I think this guy has potential for this.
Doing a paranormal show, like, there's a lot of spooky moments. And there was a machine that they use. The paranormal guy's got this machine that like supposedly says like gives you feedback of words from like the paranormal. And one of them was like referencing me, like in the corner of the room, like very obviously. And Deontay is hilariously walking us through this journey and just observing everything.
Death. That's crazy. What caused you to die, hon?
That did some spooky shit that we might not want to keep tampering with. Long story short, we in the basement, and it's early in the episode. Bro, something from the other side of the basement just fell. Like you could hear like a whoop, as if something was thrown, and then you could hear it hit. That spooked me out because it came right after something came through the message box of about basically not being down here.
And I was like, in the back of my tingly sensation on my neck started to stand up, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is making me feel a little bit uneasy. But Deontay especially, he got spooked and ran out of that house faster than I've seen anyone run a marathon.
I'm gonna leave.
Mama said, don't go nowhere, you're not welcome.
I get why he ran out. I couldn't run out because I'm filming the show.
I saw that they were doing the other side, obviously. I mean, it's local, it's scary, it's like all the things that I love. But one of my favorite moments is when Deontay runs out of that house. That got caught on camera. Like, we saw you, buddy. You were totally terrified.
What is this, man? Like, all right, were there moments during the show that spooked me out? Yes. But did it run me out? Not by myself. It ran us out. It ran us out. It was a collective decision. I was one of many that is spooked. I wasn't the chicken alone. You see what I'm saying? It was chicken tenders all up in there, man. Like, it was all of us. So, yeah, man. Yeah.
All of these projects kept us growing in our craft and were preparing us for something we didn't know was coming.
And the next thing we know, we take on a new client, Tonight's Conversation.
Tonight's Conversation was pretty much lightning in a bottle. The podcast hits a market in podcasting that most people haven't really seen before.
I am Dr. Natasha R. Moreland Spears. I am both the president and CEO of the Dream Chaser Group, as well as the COO of Ace Metaphor Productions.
She oversees the operations of Tonight's Conversation, and she is a badass.
It's very rare that you have a dream client, but Tonight's Conversation is something special.
Indigo has been with us from the beginning. The first time we filmed was at a locally owned spot here in Dayton, and they were there filming.
It was a card game at this time.
Do you think sex and intimacy are the same? And why or why not?
Ace and I would bring artists, influencers, actors, actresses to come in and record them playing the game with their partners. We would record conversations around topics about Black love and relationships and things that were impacting what Black family life and relationships look like. And that was hugely successful. But how do we get amazing times 50? That is the type of team that Andrew and Lauren and Indigo have cultivated. Our group of people who are like, this is good. How can we soup the engine up? What can we do so that it's better?
I had a knowing at a very young age about when I started this, that this was something that was destined. There was something that was gonna happen later down the road that I believed in. I knew we were onto something.
We piloted the tour, and from March to May in 2023, we were in rooms 700 to 1,100 people. Came back to the lab, tweaked some things. Ace and I spoke, this is what we're going for. This is how we're gonna make that happen. And the team, because of the way that he leads, he and Lauren lead, they're like, okay, they drink the Kool-Aid. When you work with Indigo, when you work with Drew, the sky is not the limit.
This pushed us to grow in multitude of ways. Systems, hiring of crew, bringing on more editors, building out workflows. And now today it's a nationally watched podcast that's touring the country.
DJ Marky G sets the pace and the tone and the energy of the room. And then Jay Martinez kicks off the night. He will do poetry before Ace takes the audience and then, introduces the cast.
I call it enlightened entertainment. It's very entertaining, but it also is deep.
Is a man who is willing to take care of you but has no ambition worth staying with.
What do you mean?
Like, he's complacent.
Okay.
I want more.
Cameron has to capture all of that in these moments. He's sitting at the table editing it. He can help tell the story in a way that is engaging, and people are like, oh yes, I have to subscribe to the app because I want to see the next episode.
This show has now been traveling for 4 years on the road. Boston, Dayton, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Portland, Seattle, LA, Vegas.
We sold out 3 consecutive days in New York at 3,000 each. LA, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Atlanta, Raleigh, Richmond, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, St. Louis, Memphis, Toronto, Detroit. Yeah.
We've sold out the largest theater in Chicago, 4,500 people.
We've been to 148 cities across 3 countries. Company just grew to where it is now, 3.3 million followers.
It was the biggest undertaking we've taken on. And it just feels, in the last 6-7 years specifically, we've had the biggest growth we've ever had and so much more understanding about what this production world is.
They are about hard work. They are about talent, but more importantly, it's the culture that they have within their own organization. I always say to people that you may not hit perfection, but on your way, you will always pass excellence. I believe that Andrew and Lauren and the Indigo team are the personification of that.
They are constantly evolving and redefining themselves and redefining the things that they do. Indigo wouldn't even be what it is today without that kind of spirit, that raw, kid-like spirit.
There's a huge difference between the way that Indigo does their work versus more traditional approaches. They've done things their own way, the way they see it, with their own creative vision since the beginning.
Ultimately, they stuck to their core values and what they believe in, and they chose each other. So has it paid off? Absolutely, we're here celebrating it. They didn't fold. They're doing cool stuff. They're actually getting to pick projects that they dreamed about.
It takes a lot of mental fortitude to be an artist. You do a lot of second guessing yourself. You do a lot of doing it ugly until it feels sexy. So yeah, perseverance for sure. Indigo Life is the story of art, passion, and perseverance.
Indigo Life is the story of change, of people, and of community.
Energy, beauty, the weirdness that is this community.
Indigo gets to share culture from all walks of life. They've done projects with so many different communities, across the nation.
Indigo Life is the story of love, transparency, and hope.
Of creating alongside people that inspire you. Story of being brave enough to execute a vision, turning ideas into reality.
We see ourselves as more than a video production company. We are reimagining how video can connect us to one another, awaken curiosity, and inspire new possibilities.
Indigo Life is the story of the underdog, the challenged, and the enlightened. My goal and vision with this was, how can I create a company that can empower other creatives to do what they love? And I feel we've hit the mark. And I also feel we have more to build and to bring on more creatives. So celebrating 20 years feels like we just scratched the surface. There's something inside of me that says, get ready, you got more coming. And I'm ready for it.
I can show you many acres. I can show you many towns. I can sell you any house. So buy from me now. Send Realty Partners. Hold down. All right. Now, hold down time.
jump on my horsey and ride it on over to you.
Oh, crap!